Into our player rating, starting off with Fraser Forster. 6 all round for Big Fraze. Look, he wasn't tested that much. I don't think he could have done much with Hwang's goal. I thought he could have done more with the goal that we conceded in the last minute to Strand Larsen. His playing out the back was a bit of a mixed bag yesterday. I thought some really nice plays out the back and some not so nice plays out the back. But yeah, it was a fairly quiet day for him, to be honest.
Yeah, he had one thing to do, which was when the ball came across the face of goal from Aitner and he kind of hit it away with his feet. I think actually his kicking, his passing was okay in general, but you still get nervous when the ball's at his feet. But yeah, actually it was a fairly quiet game. I think they score with their 2 shots on target, I think, Wolves. So I think for the second goal, should have done better, to be honest, actually. I'm a bit disappointed with him. He does turn his head away, but that's all he had to do pretty much for most of the game.
Pedro Porro up next. 7's all right for Pedro. His best game in a while. I don't think it's his best game is like anywhere near his best game in a Spurs shirt, or I don't think he was unbelievable in the game, but it was just nice to see him defend his back post a little better, influence things going forward. I thought his corners were really dangerous as well. So I was happy with Pedro yesterday.
Yeah, I think best game for a while. I think no surprise he had a bit of a rest and he looks a lot fresher. Still some bit sloppy on the ball, but did obviously put in a couple of really good corners for Bentanur's goal and Dragusin's goal. And I thought defensively was definitely his best defensive to play in a long time. I thought Aitner was getting a bit of joy down that side, but considering he was playing wing back and he also had an inside forward to contend with, I thought he dealt with that situation actually pretty well, and not many chances were created. And I think a lot of that was down to Pedro. I thought he made a lot of good tackles, so fair play to him.
Radu Dragusin, Sim gives him a 5. I gave him a 6. I thought from a defensive standpoint, I thought he did pretty well yesterday. And with the narrative of him coming in with a bit of an injury, I think that puts a bit more gloss on his performance. But look, on the ball, I was getting really frustrated with him in the stand yesterday because the amount of times he was getting the ball and trying to play passes into the midfield or dinks out to the wide areas. I mean, it was just really poor, his playing out the back.
Agreed. I thought that was something that really let us down. Just haphazard, lacking composure, just giving the ball away so cheaply. You even see when it's Romero or like Van der Ven, even when they have clearances, they have clearances with an aim of maybe putting it down the channel for Solanke to chase onto or anything like that. But I feel like when Dragusin, he just kind of hits it straight at a Wolves player or easily gives it away. Defensively, it was okay, but Ange said he wasn't at 100%, so I don't want to be too harsh on him, but I don't think he had a great game, especially on the ball overall.
Archie Gray up next. 6s all round for Archie. Again, I thought it was a pretty good display. Some really nice tackles and blocks in there. I just love the way how calm and composed he is on the ball, and I feel like he's growing by every minute he gets in this Spurs shirt. Yeah, in the last couple of games he has kept an attacker on side, and maybe should be doing doing better in certain moments in game. But I can't give him enough praise for the work that he's doing for the team.
Yeah, he's absolutely putting his all in. He's doing a great job at the moment. It's a fair play to him. It's a very difficult situation. Unfortunately, he did let Larsen go for the goal at the end, but look, I'm not going to beat him up too much about it. He's in a tough situation. He's literally playing every single game at the moment, and he's really putting in a shift, and he's doing so well, so credit to him.
Next up is Destiny Udogie. He only lasted, how many minutes was it yesterday? 50 minutes, yeah. Goes off with another hamstring injury that Spurs get in the ranks, and it looked like a bad one because he could barely walk off the pitch yesterday, which was a big source of frustration because I actually thought he started the game pretty well in terms of he was aggressive, he was winning his duels. I don't think you saw too many of those lung-busting Destiny Udogie bulldozing runs, but I thought from a defensive aspect, I think he did pretty well.
Yeah, I thought he was having a decent game. Again, a massive frustration that he's pulled up, and hopefully it's not too bad. But if it's another strain or something, he could be out for another month, and it's the last thing we need is another injury. Obviously, I think if Spence didn't get sent off, maybe Spence would have played today, I think, and maybe Udogie would have gotten a rest, but unfortunately it didn't happen. We played him, and Reguilon had to come on, and look, it's massively frustrating, but let's see how he is.
Yeah, Rodrigo Bentanur up next. Sevens all round, responded really well to the shocking performance that he had at Nottingham Forest. It looks like maybe he needed a bit of a run out and get some minutes in his legs, because obviously he's not been playing for a while. 7 games out suspended. Obviously he did play in Europe, but he looked better off for it. He was much more energetic. He was getting about the pitch. He got his goal with a bullet header from a corner, and I just felt like he was the one really holding that midfield together. And yeah, he was really aggressive in the middle of the park, and he was charging us forward as well.
Yeah, I thought much better performance from him, much better on the ball, much more composed, better passing as well. I thought he looked a lot more energetic. He was getting closer to players. He was getting tackles in. Got a really nice goal, really nice header from a corner as well. Not the first time he's done that this season. So fair play to him, but stupid yellow at the end. It's going to cost us, I think, in the next game. So really frustrating. Got that booking, which probably overshadowed what was a pretty good display. Yeah, that was the main source of frustration for me. That yellow card was just so stupid, man. Next up is Yves Bissouma. Sim gives him a 5. I gave him a 4. Really frustrating for me, to be honest, because in the first half, I thought he was given the complete runaround from Cunha. He couldn't get close to him by any stretch of the imagination. Second half, he just couldn't seem to impose himself on the game. You know, you're looking for a player of his quality. You know when Bissouma's on form, and you know when he's confident, when he's getting the ball and he's charging forward and he's snuffing out everything in the middle of the park. And I just felt like he had no sort of authority in the game. Yeah, it was a bit of a nothing performance from him. He kind of was anonymous on the ball, off the ball. Didn't really impose himself as much as someone like Bentanur was doing. You know, I forget to. I kind of don't even remember anything he did in the game at all, like in terms of tackles made or you know, anything good on the ball as well. It was just a very anonymous performance and deservedly taken off when Sarr came on.
Decky, Sim gives him a 7. I gave him an 8. It's my man of the match yesterday. I thought he was the one really looking to push Wolves and really push their back line. He was getting the ball. He was hard to deal with. Brilliant assist. Rounded the keeper as well. Maybe should have scored from that situation. But yeah, he was a constant thorn in Wolves' side, and he was the only one with that real bit of quality to hurt that Wolves back line.
Yeah, I think he started the game quite slowly. I was like, oh God, he's lacking in energy again. But it's something that kind of got activated in him after 20 minutes, where he just decided, I'm going to activate that third lung of his, and he just started absolutely causing Wolves so many problems. Flirting onto the wing, coming inside. Obviously, he was involved in the winning of the penalty. He was involved in with assisting the second goal as well, with a brilliant piece of individual skill to get past 2 Wolves player and then had the composure to pull it back to Johnson. Brilliant move from him. And I thought in the second half he was probably the most likely to try and kill the game off. He'll be a bit annoyed he didn't maybe get a better contact on that shot when it went past Jose Sarr. Wasn't enough power on his right foot. He also put in a brilliant ball for Sarr right at the end, who could have got the winner, but unfortunately put it wide. So he was obviously trying his best. He was non-stop energy. I did think he was doing a really good job, despite the fact he looked a bit more fatigued than he usually is. Even though that was the case, I think he just pulled something out of the bag. That's just the quality he has. But yeah, I thought it was a really good display from him overall.
Brennan Johnson, 6s all round for Brennan. Obviously gets a goal with a really nice finish. He wins the penalty as well, that obviously Son missed from. And as well, I actually think that he was dropping back on the right wing and helping out defensively with a few really important tackles for us. But yeah, I thought it was okay from Brennan.
Yeah, look, he won a penalty. He got the goal. He caused a few problems. Obviously went off on the hour, but that's what I think. That's kind of Brennan's role in the team. He doesn't get too involved a lot of times. So a lot of the times he's quiet, but in key moments he does turn up, and he arrives in the right positions to score. He arrives in the right positions to cause Wolves problems. I don't think, again, it wasn't like an all action display where he was brilliant overall, but just key moments he turned up and was effective, and that's kind of what Brennan does. So look, got a 6 out of 10 for me, but nice goal.
Sonny up next. 4s all round for Sonny. Unfortunately, it was another poor performance, which makes it 3 out of his last 3, which haven't been good enough. And I feel like he's just forcing things at the moment. Wrong decision making, clearly lacking in some sort of confidence as well at the moment. And obviously he missed the penalty, which could have been decisive for us. So poor performance.
Yeah, I mean he's struggling for form or confidence. Clearly he's maybe trying to make up for it in other aspects, because you can see he's trying too hard in some occasions. He's making the wrong decisions, doesn't pass it when he should be passing it, taking shots from positions where there are players in better positions. The missed penalty, he didn't look confident stepping up to take that penalty, which is very, very much unlike Sonny. And he really struggled to really impact the game in the final third. And I thought a lot of the time as well, quite sloppy on the ball, giving the ball away where he shouldn't be. Just a really bad display overall from Sonny, and don't like to see it.
And Dom Solanke, the last of the starting 11, Sim gives him a 6. I gave him a 7. Again, tireless work from Big Dom. I felt like, particularly in the second half, when we got that second win when Sarr and the subs came on, I thought he did a lot of good work charging the team forward. It looked like he was on a one-man mission at times. He was fairly quiet in the first half, but I felt like he really came alive in the last half an hour. Yeah,
he did. There were a couple of occasions where, with a bit more confidence or a bit more, I don't know, whether killer instinct, he could go straight towards goal and get shots off. But sometimes feel like he's so unselfish when he's on the ball. He doesn't quite do that enough, like he did maybe against Man United for that goal in the Carabao Cup. But I think he does so much great work off the ball. He nearly got a brilliant assist for Decky, where he holds off 2 players and plays Decky through on goal, who probably should have done better with his finish. That was a great moment for him. But again, not enough goal mouth action for me. Should be getting in and around the penalty area a bit more, inches away from Werner's cross and getting himself a goal, which was a shame. But I think good, but maybe a bit too quiet on some occasions.
Substitutes. Sergio Reguilon came on after 15 minutes for Destiny.
Who?
Sergio Reguilon. I couldn't believe it when I saw him warming up, even though we had pretty much no choice. But yeah, I don't think it was terrible. I don't think it was great. It was pretty much a non-event, really.
Yeah, I mean, a couple of occasions he got forward, but no real quality on the final delivery. Defensively, I mean, did okay, I guess. I think we contained Wolves fairly well overall, but that was the situation. A bit of a nothing. I mean, watching it, I wasn't thinking, why hasn't Ange played him more? I wasn't that impressed, but I don't think he did too much wrong either overall.
Pape, 7s all round for Pape. He was really good, energetic, provided us legs in the middle of the park, which we desperately needed at the time. And he was just charging us forward. He had our best chance of the game. Probably should have put it in the back of the net. But yeah, he was energetic, and he was, provided some bits of quality as well.
Yeah, I think Sarr added that a real bit of energy we needed. We were flagging at that point. I think we needed a boost of energy. I think Sarr really brought that, especially in the game state that was in. We were sitting back a bit too much, and we needed to get up the pitch, and he was just allowing us to be very direct with his running style and running into space and playing with the likes of Solanke and Kulusevski as well for quite a lot of it. So, I think a really good cameo from Sarr.
Madison up next, 5s all round. Just not too much bits of quality of note, to be honest. He comes on, he sees quite a bit of the ball, and he's probing to do something, but little amounts of quality, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think there was some quality there in terms of he played some really nice passes out to Werner. Unfortunately, Werner a lot of the time wasted them. I think Madison, there was one point where there was actually a really good piece of play in that second half, some really good football being played, which he was at the heart of, but unfortunately the move ended with him with a shot over the bar with his left foot. And look, he had 25 minutes. In the game state wasn't maybe didn't suit him as much as maybe it suited Sarr, but you still expect him to do more when he's given about half an hour.
Timo Werner, Sim gives him a 3, I gave him a 5. Pretty poor, to be honest, but I did think he was getting the ball and asking a few questions of the Wolves' defence, as he was able to run at them, as Sonny wasn't really able to do that. He did put in a really good cross in for Dom Solanke, where maybe he should have got on the end of it. And obviously he has his classic Timo Werner run the ball out the pitch moment. But yeah, look, all in all, it was really, really frustrating for Timo.
Yeah, he had one good moment where he put a good cross face to goal, which is good, but I think other than that, he was massively poor, miscontrolling the ball, running the ball out of play, being offside when he shouldn't be offside. Very frustrating cameo from Timo Werner. Really, really bad, and really hindered us a lot in the last 20 minutes. Apart from obviously that one moment where he did put in a good ball, I'll give him credit for that. Probably why he gets to 3 and not lower. But I thought other than that, massively frustrated.
And last but not least, Ange Postecoglou, 5s all round, still unable to get that win, particularly at home. I think it's our worst run at home since 2008, since that 2 points from 8 game season. Our worst points per game since before Christian Gross. I think it's just not good by any stretch of the imagination. And yeah, I think it was slightly better in terms of performance level yesterday, but still unable to get those 3 points on the board. I just feel like he should be playing players that are a bit more fresher, and maybe get us to be able to last longer. But look, the changes that he did make did impact the game in a positive way, but we still ended up conceded in the last few minutes of the game. So yeah, he needs to be doing better.
Look, I think we should have won the game. Obviously, we didn't, and the fact we didn't kill the game, ultimately he takes responsibility, especially when we're on the run of results that we are on. But I think he made change at the right time. I think we did, in terms of the first half, we went 1-0 down and we responded really well to it. We turned it around, and that's, you know, the belief that he's instilled in the team, and that's pretty positive. Obviously, Son, take him off after an hour. He brought on Son, Madison and Werner. I did think those changes really positively impacted the game, but we couldn't kill it off, and we didn't. And was it an instruction from him to sit back like we did, or was it the players just taking it upon themselves to do that? Or was it natural? Was it Wolves forcing us back with how they were finishing the game? Either way, we tried to see out the game in a different way and didn't, and he still failed. I don't really blame him for that. I think, look, at the end of the day, we should have won. We didn't win. I don't think it's ultimately Ange's. I don't put the blame necessarily on Ange why we didn't win. But where we are, you know, at the moment, he's got to take some responsibility for that, unfortunately, and that's the reality of the situation. But I don't see much changing with if he makes different changes. I think he managed it okay, but look, we didn't get the win, and he's still got to take responsibility for the result.
All right, so that is our player ratings for the 2-2 draw.